I had decided we'd done everything we could, and it was time to go on or be buried. So that was my decision.
Jean Stapleton revealed an unsettling fact about herself in her most famous role, Edith Bunker, just before she passed away, confirming what fans had believed for a long time. Even though Jean was already a fan favorite, this discovery gave the real Jean a deeper story. Edith Bunker's latter years were marked by an unexpected revelation that shocked her followers and solidified her place in television history. The arts played an important role in Jean Stapleton's upbringing. She was born Jean Murray on January 19, 1923. Her dad, Joseph Murray, was a billboard advertising specialist, and her mom, Marie Stapleton, sang opera. Jean, like many others in her artistically inclined family, grew up in an environment where performing arts were highly valued. Her older brother, Jack Stapleton, was a professional stage performer, and she had her first taste of the theater via him. It was inevitable that Jean would find herself in front of an audience given that she came from a long line of performers. Jean started accepting little jobs to test her talents after finishing high school, taking baby steps toward her acting career. When she joined a summer stock theater company in 1941, she officially began her acting career. The company gave its members the opportunity to perform in plays and musicals throughout the summer. In her formative years, she honed her stage presence and gained an appreciation for the art form's foundational concepts. The local theater community adored her because of her exceptional acting skills, which allowed her to instantly connect with the audience. Even before her first performance in the off-Broadway production American Gothic in New York City, Jean Stapleton had established herself as a formidable actor. Her initial love was performing, and acting was the type of theater in which she excelled. Funny Girl, Damn Yankees, and Bells Are Ringing were just a few of the Broadway musicals that featured her singing and acting chops. It seemed natural that Jean would make the transition to television as her fame grew. She got many opportunities to appear on television series in the 50s and 60s, including Dr. Kildare, Robert Montgomery Presents, Starlight Theater, and many more. The on-screen experience she gained from these parts was invaluable, and while they weren't as major as her later ones, they were nonetheless vital to her career. One of the most beloved people in television history became her public face in this way. Jean Stapleton's journey to become Edith Bunker was an unusual one. Norman Lear, a daring television producer known for his dry wit and penchant for offbeat ideas, became fixated on the concept of developing a new series in the late 1960s. All in the Family, a series that would change American television forever, was born out of this program. Edith Bunker is the kind but somewhat dim-witted wife of the gruff Archie Bunker. Therefore, it was imperative that Lear choose the ideal actress to play the part. He was immediately captivated by her stage presence and, more significantly, her talent for blending honesty with humor. She had an audition call, and both Lear and the casting crew were impressed by her portrayal of Edith. Stapleton gave Edith a lot more depth and complexity than the traditional housewife and submissive wife. She brought the role to life. Edith became well known in the United States because to her calm demeanor and plenty of measured, sensible counsel. Jean had been training for stage and screenplays, so this role was a change of pace for her. She had played a wide variety of roles during her acting career, but playing Edith Bunker would define her in ways she had never imagined. The part of Edith was both an honor and a difficulty for Stapleton. She transformed Edith from a performer into a paragon of virtue by adding realism to the act in the film. The program was fascinating and enlightening because Edith was a basic character and Archie was tough. Jean Stapleton became a household name to her portrayal of Edith Bunker in the professional biopic. Too quickly, Edith Bunker became a household name due to the sudden phenomenon that was All in the Family. Jean became a television star thanks to the role, which garnered her 3 Emmys and 2 Golden Globes. But the part was more than simply another accomplishment for Jean. It was a character she felt strongly about playing, and she wanted her viewers to feel something for the character she was playing. What impact do you believe Jean Stapleton's depiction of Edith Bunker had on the representation of complicated characters in modern television? A symbol of tolerance at a period when American television was starting to depict society's metamorphosis, Jean Stapleton's depiction of Edith Bunker went beyond being just an acting role. While it may have seemed like any other comedy at the time, All in the Family tackled serious social issues including racism, misogyny, and socialism. In the comedy, Edith's role is emotional, since she helps Archie Bunker soften his frequently scandalous and caustic thoughts. Edith was able to strike a chord with many people because Stapleton so authentically portrayed her. Neither Edith nor her splendor were noteworthy, but Edith counseled people with kindness, wisdom, and simplicity even while they were in the midst of suffering and cruelty. As a result, families all throughout the United States came to know and adore Edith. Despite Archie's cold attitude and cruel comments, Edith's kind personality and devotion to her husband helped her win over millions of fans and cement her place as one of the most beloved TV characters of all time. The cultural significance of Edith Bunker is immeasurable. Edith was genuine, in contrast to the idealized, stereotypical American television productions of the time. She exemplified the archetypal typical woman, not a beautiful, well-mannered one. Her struggles, triumphs, and tenacity were similar to those of housewives everywhere. For that reason, Jean made sure to portray a figure whom she could rally behind. In addition to being a lovable, charming, and generous character, Edith also matured into a clever one who could sometimes sway Archie with her logical answers. As a result, prejudice and stereotyping might be dispelled, and All in the Family had an opportunity to interpret and dramatize forbidden topics via Edith, shedding light on them for the benefit of society. The show's sincere exploration of these subjects, made possible by Stapleton's nuanced portrayal, sparked important debates throughout the country. The question is, why did Jean Stapleton decide to leave her renowned role? I bet you're surprised by the reason. Leaving All in the Family was not an easy choice for Jean Stapleton. Her almost decade-long portrayal as Edith Bunker came to a close when she decided to leave the role. Stapleton thought the narrative of Edith had been done to death, despite the character's meteoric rise to fame on American television. Keeping Edith in the role, in her opinion, may lead to monotony and the loss of the genuine charisma that had made her famous. Stapleton also wanted to try her hand at other acting roles after she departed the program. After honing her acting chops in the theater, she was prepared to branch out from sitcoms and into other types of roles. Even though Stapleton's portrayal of Edith was crucial during her many years on screen, she felt it was time to go out and grow as an actor. Stapleton has spoken about her fondness for Edith Bunker and her desire for the character to continue in interviews, but she adamantly refused to play a stereotypical role. For an extended period of time, she was concerned that her typecasting would prevent her from pursuing other opportunities that may provide her more satisfaction. A big part of her decision to quit the show was this need for creative independence and self-improvement. The fact that All in the Family was changing was also something Stapleton noticed. Edith was becoming less central to the plot, and the show's emphasis was beginning to change. Because of this adjustment, Stapleton felt more comfortable stepping away, as she knew the performance could go on without her. It was more important to her to go while the character was beloved and significant than to have its relevance erode over time. A turning point was marked by her departure. Jean Stapleton continued to work with the same fervor and commitment that had characterized her previous work after bidding farewell to Edith Bunker. She was able to demonstrate her flexibility by working in television, cinema, and on stage after leaving All in the Family, which was a benefit in a sense. Aside from her already packed schedule, Stapleton was also not afraid to take on additional tasks. Her further professional work included a 1982 television movie appearance as First Lady of the World, Mrs. Eleanor Roosevelt in the film Eleanor, First Lady of the World. This was a radical change from Edith Bunker, but it allowed Stapleton to showcase her acting chops by playing tougher, more complex roles. Critics praised her in the part, proving she could have performed well without Edith Bunker. In addition to her job in television, she continued to be involved in the theater, which she had always loved. Among her many stage appearances was a one-woman show in which she played Eleanor Roosevelt. Stapleton made the right choice when she decided to return to theater. Doing so enabled her to work in a profession she loved while also allowing her to reassert her reputation as an accomplished, dedicated, and talented actor. It was also around this period that Stapleton's film career took off. Michael, 1996, in which she co-starred with John Travolta, was one of the films in which she was cast. Her flexibility was on full display in Michael, a film in which she played both comedic and serious parts. Stapleton's versatility as an actress was on full display in her ability to play a wide range of roles. Leaving Edith behind didn't dampen Jean Stapleton's brilliance. On the other hand, when she was nearing the end of her life, she thought a lot about the part that had made her famous and shaped television forever. She had one more truth to tell: her last thoughts on Edith Bunker and the character's impact on her and the millions of people who adored her. After marrying in 1957, Stapleton remained with William Pritchard Bill Stapleton until his death in 1983. Pamela Stapleton is a television producer, and John Stapleton is an actor, writer, and director. In Pennsylvania, William Stapleton oversaw the summer stock theater Totem Pole Playhouse, where Stapleton often appeared on stage. Stapleton proceeded to perform that evening despite William's untimely death from a heart attack that occurred during the theatrical presentation. Jack Stapleton, her brother, was an actor, and Betty Jane Watson, her cousin, was also an actress. Contrary to popular belief, Stapleton was not related to actress Maureen Stapleton. Rather, he was an ardent member of the Christian Science Church. She was an equal rights amendment activist, a participant in the 1977 National Women's Conference, and a 1984 presidential campaign supporter of Walter Mondale. She was an uncommon guest on talk programs, but in 2000 she appeared on The Donnie and Marie Osmond Show again with Carol O'Connor. She joked that she only performs voice acting for money and rejected to play Edith Bunker's voice on the program. While Stapleton did confess to watching All in the Family on occasion, she said to the Archive of American Television that by the year 2000 she had changed her mind. Fans had wondered whether Edith Bunker was more than she seemed to be for a long time, and they had conjectured about her actual character and what she stood for. Jean Stapleton gave an answer to these concerns just before she passed away, surprising and touching her followers with her disclosure. She clearly cared much about Edith Bunker, both as a character and a virtue, in the interviews she gave right before she passed away. As a result, she gained insight, self-respect, a clean conscience, and a sense of humanity. Despite her seeming innocence, Edith was a powerful lady who gave Stapleton hope and support, and who took up the task of rescuing the misguided by identifying the good in them and offering them a second opportunity. Edith was a realistic figure who drew inspiration from the ladies in her life, which Stapleton verified, as many had thought for a long time. Her mother and other stable, caring adults in her life served her inspiration. Edith struck a chord with viewers unlike any other TV character because of this intimate connection. She became more real and approachable. I also thought Stapleton was being honest when she claimed that Edith's heart was her strongest suit. Edith may have been the quiet one who served as the family's rock, standing firm in her convictions without ever trying to dispute openly, in contrast to Archie's more stereotypically combative and insensitive demeanor. Since Edith was more than simply a passive figure, this was somewhat inaccurate. Actually, she was the show's moral compass. She battled to love her family no matter how much she hated them. Stapleton also spoke briefly on the emotional toll that playing Edith had on her over the show's run. Although she enjoyed portraying Edith, the actress said that the part was emotionally taxing, and it was a contributing factor in her decision to leave. She was afraid Edith would be too portrayed as a traditional witch if she let herself be displayed too much. The chance to play Edith and bring attention to important issues was something for which Stapleton expressed profound gratitude in a statement she gave just before she passed away. On TV, Edith Bunker represented love, acceptance, and humanity, she thought to herself. Bringing that kind of persona to life was indeed satisfying. But Stapleton's last testimony was about more than just Edith. It was about the way television touches people's emotions and the power that artists have over their characters' fates. Confirming what people had suspected for a long time gave Stapleton's legacy more substance. Viewers were shown that below the charming and kind woman was an actor who understood the significance of her profession and the impact she had on society. Although Jean Stapleton's depiction of Edith Bunker is what most people remember her for, her contributions to society and entertainment were much more extensive. Although Edith brought her fame, Stapleton's impact on television and popular culture was far greater. She had acting chops and could make every role she played seem more real. Countless others were moved by her depiction of Edith. Jean Stapleton's Edith Bunker was more than just a comedic figure. She embodied American values of love and morality. She was the pinnacle of human excellence. Hence, Stapleton used Edith to impart virtues like love and understanding. She went from being a mere character to an icon in American culture because of the bond she enjoyed with Edith before she passed away. Stapleton became one of the most revered actors of her time because of her portrayal in All in the Family. She sparked a movement that would affect years to come about the portrayal of women on television. Today, we honor Jean Stapleton for her thought-provoking and engaging writings that encouraged readers to prioritize themselves. As a contemporary tale and homage to Stapleton, Edith Bunker will go down in television history as one of the most iconic characters. In the wake of Jean Stapleton's 2013 death, many paid tribute to the legendary actress and said how much they had enjoyed working with her. Countless ladies who were once children, along with other famous figures in the entertainment business, sent comments and images that encapsulated Jean Stapleton's spirit. Stapleton was hailed by All in the Family creator Norman Lear as one of the most legendary actresses in television history. She was a key component in the show's success, he said, and he lauded her for her authentic and nuanced depiction of Edith Bunker. Lear reflected on how Stapleton embodied the kind of performer whose acting skills made Edith a relatable character. An actor named Robert Reiner, who portrayed Edith's son-in-law, Meathead, on the show, spoke highly of Stapleton, praising her kindness and beauty. He said working with her is a privilege since she was so professional and always pushed her co-stars to give it their all. Many of Stapleton's co-workers echoed Reiner's praise for the actress, praising her kindness alongside her dedication and enthusiasm for her craft. Among the other actors was Sally Struthers, who played Gloria, Edith's on-air daughter. Stapleton was like a second mother to Struthers, she said. Struthers often mentions how Stapleton supported and encouraged the other actors in the main moments. She clearly cared for her co-workers and did her best to foster a close-knit atmosphere among them from the time they were little. Fans were just as appreciative of Jean Stapleton's efforts off-screen as they were on-screen. Edith Bunker had become a beloved symbol of hope and positivity for many viewers who recalled how she had inspired them. Edith made Stapleton's Archie more likable, and as a result, Stapleton became one of the most adored TV characters in the United States. Jean Stapleton's incredible acting chops, kindness, and love will live on in cinematic memory. Finally, Jean Stapleton's remarks on Edith Bunker had an even greater effect on her listeners. All this proves is that stories have a magical way of bringing people together. The impact that Stapleton had is continuing long after her death. Not only was her most recent confession shocking, but it also demonstrated her profound character and acting chops.